All right, it says I'm live. I think I'm live. Hey, Allison Verhalen here, coming at you live today to talk to you about linkable assets. So, if you don't already know, backlinks are super important for your SEO strategy. It's a way of gaining Google's trust and positioning yourself as an authority in your industry. I like to compare it to like hanging out with the cool kids in high school, right? So if you're hanging out with the cool kids, then the assumption is you must be cool, right? So Google kind of uses that same logic. If people that are creating high quality content, providing value to Google's users and their audience, their own audience, of course. If those websites are linking back to your website, that's a way of signaling that, well, this high quality, reputable website likes you, so you must also be high quality and reputable. So Google assumes like hangs out with like. So if you get those high quality backlinks, it is a great way to improve your SEO because then Google will like you and improve your search rankings, which sounds great, but how do you actually do that, right? Well, you need linkable assets. You need to create content. Linkable asset is basically a piece of high quality content that people want and that influencers want to, right? They're not going to create the content, but it still provides value to their audience. So they want to link to it. They want to reference it if they're talking about something similar, and they want to let their audience know, hey, this really great piece of content is over here. You should check it out because it would help you. So that, again, that can be easier said than done because content covers a wide range of types of content, right? So what is considered a linkable asset? The short answer is all of them, but I will go in a little more in depth into each one. I'll give you a kind of a brief list, the things that just come to mind when I think of linkable assets. First off is blog posts. Obviously, I say this all the time. You should be posting new content on your blog, preferably every week, even multiple times a week. Definitely no less than once or twice per month, really. So when you're publishing that content, it should always be high quality content that provides value, that educates your audience, that gives them tools and resources they can use. So you should share that. You should let other people know, hey, I have this great piece of content over here. You might want to link to it. And it should be like an ultimate guide style post, right? It should cover everything there is to cover on this particular topic. So for example, my blog post on this topic is 1,800 words, right? Because I wanted to talk about everything there is to talk about linkable assets. So if anyone is looking for a reference on linkable assets, they will find my blog post and or this video, right? Which leads nicely into my next tip is videos. We are visual creatures. We like videos. So if you create videos that, again, that are valuable, that are high quality, that create content that people want to consume. They have valuable knowledge, or even if they're just fun. Because again, how many cat videos and puppy videos do we share, right? Olive and Mabel are huge YouTube stars because they're fun. We like looking at them. So don't think it all has to be educational. It absolutely can be, but there is absolutely a time and a place to just have fun with it, especially if it relates back to your whatever it is you provide, the product and or services that you are providing. I think it's SEMrush on LinkedIn is always sharing like really fun memes about marketing and SEO, right? So they're fun, they're very shareable. I love them. I talk about them all the time and I share them, but they're also related to what SEMrush does. So the perfect example. So if you've not already, check out SEMrush's LinkedIn feed because they're great. I always love their memes. Next up are podcasts, right? So same can be said of videos. People don't always watch a video, but they might listen to it rather than reading a blog post. Same with the podcast. So a lot of people will listen to a podcast over reading a blog post. So I know I listen to podcasts all the time while I'm like doing stuff around the house. So I obviously can't do that while reading, but that is one way for me to consume content while I'm getting stuff done. So consider that a linkable asset because again, people are going to link back to your podcast again if it provides value to their audience, if it's relevant. PDFs. This is a page where people can go to download a PDF. This can be extremely valuable because it gives people something they can use or reference on their own computer without going to your website. It can be a short ebook. It can be a report or a white paper. I recently published my book and I created a workbook to go along with the book that I published. The book is right there. The workbook is available on my website as a free PDF download, right? So that is a linkable asset that I can use, that I can drive people to say, hey, if you want to start creating your own content marketing strategy, here's the workbook, you need to do it. And of course, my logo and website link is all over that. So no one is going to forget where they got it, even though it's living on their computer and not necessarily on my website. Webinars. I do this all the time. I create webinars. I host them for free. I record them. I make them available for free on YouTube, on this channel. So if you have not already checked those out, you can look for those. That's another linkable asset, right? Because you are teaching people how to do something. You are providing value and establishing yourself as an authority in your industry. So take advantage of those webinars. Those are great linkable assets. Same goes for infographics. It's just what it sounds like. You're providing a bunch of information in graphic form. These are very popular because they can provide a lot of information that's fairly easy to quick and easy to consume. A lot of people will look through an entire infographic, even if they won't necessarily read a whole long blog post about it. So infographics are very shareable. People love sharing infographics, again, if they provide value. So make sure that they are providing value. They're eye-catching, they're high quality, they don't look like a third grader slapped them together, right? So if graphic design is not your forte, maybe get someone else to do that for you. Free apps or tools. If you have an app or a tool on your website that people can use to make their lives easier, obviously it should be relevant to what you do. Hopefully prompt them to reach out for more after they've used your tool, gotten some information there. This makes the tool part of your marketing funnel, right? It should be, something that people can use to find out more about you, more about the value you provide. And once they use that free app or tool, then they can reach out to you for more information. So absolutely take advantage of that and let people know about it, because if it provides value, influencers are going to want to know about it so they can let their audience know about it, so they can provide value to their audience. Free products or services, if you're giving away something, especially if you're raffling off something. For example, my book, I raffle it off all the time when I sponsor events, right? So that's an easy thing that I can just give away for free. This is a great way to let people know about you. If it's a service or another product you're giving away, it should be like an entry-level product or service, right? So you don't want to, I would never give away like an SEO audit, because that's further down the funnel, right? Someone has to really want to invest in that. But I can give away a copy of my book that's entry-level, that gives people an idea of who I am, what I do, what I'm all about, and the value that I provide. So think about it in terms of your business. What is it that you can provide that is really going to help people understand who you are, what you do, and the value you provide? What is that entry-level product or service that you're totally fine giving that away for free? So then you can let people know. You can, again, raffle it off if you're sponsoring an event. That's a great way, again, to get backlinks to your website. Contests, these are great to get audience engagement. You can have them submit entries for your contest to create your next logo or tagline. You don't even have to end up using any of the entries. You can if one of them turns out to be awesome. But this also gives you a lot of information about how people see your brand. So if people are submitting stuff that is really in line with your brand, great, go ahead and use it. If it's way off base, that means you have not done a great job of establishing your brand. So take another look at all of your branding and marketing efforts and make sure they are all in line with your branding goals. Reviews, if you use certain products or services in your industry, let people know about them. People are always looking for the best XYZ. So tell them what you think about the best tools and resources in your industry. What should they be using if they want to do what you do, right? So, and then data or research. If you conducted research for your business, if you have a bunch of juicy data on something that people are always interested in, publish it. You can just publish it on your website, or again, you can publish it as a PDF that people can download. Share that information. That again helps establish you as an expert, and it provides information that people can reference. Because if people want to tell their audience, whatever the data is, right? So for example, if I want to tell people that they should be blogging at least once a week, I got that data from, I believe it was Orbit Media, who is always, that website always is doing a lot of research, compiling the data, putting it together in these studies and publishing it on their website. Awesome. So I link back to them because I let people know that, yeah, you do need to be blogging at least once per week. And I can tell you that because that was over here. So if you are providing data or research, that is a great linkable asset, because then people will reference that when they're telling people, certain information or insights. People will want to know, well, where did you get that information? Well, I got it over here, right? So that is a great linkable asset. So you've got all these great linkable assets, right? Now what do you do with them? How do you let people know? So it's not enough to just build it and assume they will come. That's just not how it works. You have to do some promotion, get the word out there. Social media is great for this because that in and of itself provides a backlink to your website. So put that out into the world on social media. Not only is that a great way to get in front of your target audience just by posting about it, you can also DM influencers in your industry and say, hey, I just published this great, whatever the content was. It's all about X, Y, Z. Maybe you're interested in this. So, and then you provide a link, and if they use it, great. And if not, no harm done, right? Direct outreach, again, via social media or via email. I always use the Check My Links browser extension to see if content has any broken links. If it does, you can reach out to the author and say, hey, I noticed that you have a broken link on your article on blah, 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 right? I just happen to have published a piece on a related topic. Maybe you want to, replace that broken link with a link to my article. And now you have a backlink, right? It's awesome. Guest content. You can be a guest on someone else's podcast. You can write a guest blog post for someone else's blog. So again, great way to get high quality backlinks to your website. Those always, because every time you're a guest, it's going to link back to your website. Just keep in mind that's not going to be great for SEO, especially guest blog posts. I think guest podcasts are still good to go for SEO purposes, but for some reason, Google has decided that it does not like the guest and blogging strategy of getting backlinks. So most of those are going to be no follow links, which means it will not count towards your SEO one way or another. It's still a link. People are still going to organically follow it and back to your website. And at the very least, you're getting in front of a whole new audience, right? So there is still value in guest blogging. It's just not the best way to get that backlink for SEO purposes. Again, still going to drive organic traffic back to your website. And if you are trying to promote something like your book, right? You being a guest on a podcast is a great way to do that. Writing guest blog posts for other websites is a great way to do that. So take advantage of those opportunities. HARO, also known as Help a Reporter Out, is a great way to position yourself as an authority in your industry. Reporters are always looking for experts to provide quotes on whatever the latest hot topic is in your industry. So use that resource, answer their questions for them. Then you get listed as an expert. You get in front of goodness knows how many people, right? You're getting in front of a whole new audience, and you're getting in front of them as an expert, and you get a link back to your website. So use Help a Reporter Out. It is super helpful. Kind of in that same vein are online forums. You got Reddit, you got Quora. Another great opportunity to, again, demonstrate your expertise. People are asking for information on your industry, and they're giving you a chance so you can answer their questions. Again, position yourself as an expert, and then also provide a link to your website. Just make sure that the links you provide are relevant and you're not just spamming people with links to your website, right? Make sure that it's actually relevant to the question and say, hey, if you want to know more about that, I have information on that over here, and then you provide the link. Don't just put up your link and run, because no one is going to follow that, and that is very spammy. So always provide value first and foremost. So that is it. That is everything that I have for you about linkable assets, how to create them, how to share them, get the most out of them. That is everything I have for you today. If you have any other questions, you know where to find me. I am over at AV, as in, Allison Verhalen, avwritingservices.com. And if you have any questions, you can reach me directly at info@avwritingservices.com. Have a great week and happy blogging, everyone.